In this worksheet, we have people's names split into two columns. And you can see here in column A, we have people's last names. And in column B, we have people's first names. What we want to do is we want to combine first name and last name in the same cell. Well, we need some space to do that. So before anything else, let's go and insert a new column. So put your mouse pointer here on the header of column C, so your mouse pointer is that down arrow. Click the right mouse button, and from the pop-up menu, choose Insert. You can just click over here on what's now C5, so we have some room. Now, there's sort of two ways of doing it. We could do it with a formula. We could also use a function, and there's a function called concatenate. I think the formula is a little easier to use, so we'll do that. Also, I'm going to do the exercise wrong first, and the reason is that you have to be careful of spaces, and I want to show you what happens if you're not careful of spaces. So this is a simple formula, so starting in C5, just type your equal sign, and we're going to say equals first name. Now, keep in mind, we're not adding numbers. We're simply stitching things together. We're combining things. So you don't want to use a plus. You want to use an ampersand. And you can find the ampersand on your keyboard if you press Shift and the 7 on the top row of keyboard. So I'm going to type B5, ampersand, and then A5. So I'm going to say take the content of cell B5 and append the content of cell A5. And I'll just press Control Enter so I can enter and stay on the same cell. We don't have a space. There's a problem. Now put your mouse pointer on that autofill dot so your mouse pointer becomes a crosshair. When you get the crosshair, double click, and it fills into the bottom. Well, we certainly appended first names and last names all right, but we don't have any spaces there. So now we're going to delete it and we'll do it correctly. So you can simply drag down to the bottom, or again, hold down Control Shift and press the down arrow key. So we have the whole column selected and just press delete. Let's go back up to C5 and now we'll do it with correct spacing. So type your equal sign, again click the last name, type in ampersand, and now we need to put in a space. And to put in a space, what we do is type a double quotation mark, literally type a space, hit the space bar, and close the double quote. And now another ampersand, and now click the last name. So we're saying take the content of B5 and append a blank space, and then append the content of A5. Again, hold Control and press Enter. So now we have first name space last name. Put your mouse pointer on that dot in the lower right corner. When your mouse pointer becomes the crosshair, double click. And now we have them all filled in. That's great, but we're not quite done yet because we have our last name and first name in these columns, and now we have the full name here. We don't really need column A and column B. But we can't just delete the columns because if you look up here in the formula editing bar, these are formulas. And if we remove the columns, right now these formulas are going to give us errors. So what we have to do is we have to convert these formulas to the actual text that's displayed. And we do that with a copy and paste. So once again, let's select this row. Again, you can drag down. I'll press Control, Shift, and the down arrow key. And just copy to the clipboard. I'll press Control C. And up here in the Home tab, click Paste. And from the pop-up menu under Paste Values, choose this first item here. And you could press the Escape key to get rid of the marching ants. Now when you click any of these names, you can see up here in the formula editing bar, these are actual names. Now we can safely remove column A and B. But first let's take that payroll and just put your mouse pointer on the edge of the border so your mouse pointer is a four-headed arrow. Drag over here. Maybe take this logo and drag over for safekeeping. Put your mouse pointer on the header of column A so you get that down pointing arrow. Click and drag over to column B. Make sure your mouse pointer is still that down arrow. Click the right mouse button and delete, and we've deleted those columns. And now we'll just deselect, and now you could adjust, move the logo. You can click on the graphic here and resize the graphic so it looks good. Now when you click any of those names, you can see up here in the formula bar, these are regular names. So if that's something you ever need to do, you see it's really not that bad. You just got to be careful of a couple of gotchas.